Hi there everyone, it's Marc Laurenson here from Sydney Astrology School, and thanks for joining me as we continue on with the Neptune through the Houses series. And in this episode, it's episode number 10, we're going to be looking at Neptune in the 12th house. So I'm going to start off with a visual or an image. Just imagine yourself down by the ocean, okay, and you have a cup. And you dip the cup into the ocean and you take out a cup of water. Now that cup is us. It's us here on the earth plane in these bodies. It is our structured self, our earthy self. And what's in the cup, the water that's in the cup, is our essence. It's our universal selves. It's a part of us that's connected to everything and everyone. And then we pour the cup of water back into the ocean again. And then we are asked to find that cup of water. Now that's Neptune in the 12th house. As you can see, Neptune in the 12th house has no division. It has no boundary whatsoever. It's the oneness of everything and everyone. It's us being part of the universe and us actually being the universe, okay? And so for people who have Neptune in the 12th house, to give this planet some kind of earthy solidarity, the people will have to look at other parts of the chart where Neptune is connected to. For instance, they can look at aspects to Neptune, particularly from the sun or the moon or the personal planets. Those particular planets will be pointing at particular areas where you can use this Neptunian energy. Another thing to do is to look at the house that Pisces is ruling. That particular house that Pisces is ruling could be another area, another terrain of life that you can use Neptune in as well. Also look at the dispositor of Neptune. The dispositor is the planet that rules the sign that Neptune is in. Now, if you're part of the Neptune in Scorpio generation, then look where Pluto is in your chart. If you're a Neptune in Sagittarius generation, if you're part of that, then look at where Jupiter is. If you're part of the Neptune in Capricorn generation, then find Saturn in your chart, and that will link back to your Neptune and how you can use your Neptune. If you've got Neptune in another sign, it won't be going too much further than that, those signs. But if you do have it in another sign, just look at the ruler of the sign that it's in by house placement. And that will also be connected back to the Neptune in your 12th and be able to give it a little tiny bit more of a substantial way of working with them. Okay. So Neptune in the 12th house, so we've got, the most nebulous planet in the most nebulous house. And in modern astrology, and I'm a modern astrologer, Neptune is in its own house. So people who have this, the volume is turned right up. They have a heightened sensitivity to life and to vibration. All the subtleties and all the nuances that are going on around them, they're probably more in tune with than the average person would be. Now, sometimes this can be a really, really good thing because a lot of the time, I want to say, if you're in tune with this kind of stuff, it can actually work really well intuitively. It can actually work really well, almost like a guide. It feels very much like a feeling or a universal feeling that's always coming in to your life in some kind of way, taking you down the right path if you trust it. And so Neptune in the 12th house is very much about trusting the feelings you have or trusting the flow of life. For some people, Neptune in the 12th house can be quite overwhelming because it's connected to everything, that if you go out in the earthy environment and you play it out there, it can actually feel that the earth is a very harsh place and you're feeling kind of, at the brunt of it. It feels very much like the difficulty or the challenges or just the heavy vibration that earth has to offer can sometimes feel very overpowering and overwhelming for a Neptune in the 12th house person. That's why Neptune in the 12th house people have to. They have to have time to pull away from life. And when I say pull away from life, I mean quiet time, 12th house quiet time, time by themselves. Meditation. Meditation would be imperative, I believe, for Neptune in the 12th house people. Walks, long walks in nature, sitting down by the waterfront, putting on your favorite music, soft, calming, your favorite music that you can kind of chill out to. Surround yourself with beauty. Surround yourself with the environment that is conducive to making you feel connected to life. Go to the art gallery. Go to the ballet. Uh, be in environments where there's play and fun and love as much as you can. Indulge in those things. If you love to be artistic, if you love to be creative, get out your paints, get out canvas and splash it around. If you love to go to the theatre, go to the theatre. There's a whole lot of stuff with Neptune and feeling that it really does want to go into other lands and other worlds while it can still be here, while it can still be on the earth plane. And so we can do this. We can do this really, really well. But it just means that you have to be a little bit more conscious of the vibrational energy that surrounds you on a daily basis. And try your best to be able to um, to flow into areas that make you feel a little bit more connected to who you truly are and your higher self than staying in areas that do exactly the opposite. Okay. I find a lot of Neptune in the 12th house people can be quite psychic. A lot of people I know with Neptune in the 12th house are very, very intuitive. A lot of them are in touch with things from other worlds. I think that comes into the picture too. Um, a lot of people talk about addiction, people, and that comes from feeling overwhelmed. That comes from a feeling of uh, that are not being able to cope with the heightened amount of emotions or the heightened amount of feelings, and there's a feeling of needing to escape, that kind of feeling. But I want to say that addiction can be a good thing, depending on what you're addicted to. If you're addicted to love, if you're addicted to kindness, if you're addicted to charity, if you're addicted in a way to be of some kind of help and healing and assistance, if that is where you throw everything into, if that is where you need to go to find your escape, so to speak, how beautiful is that? How amazing is that? And I want to say that if you're finding yourself moving in that direction, then move it in a direction that's going to work, that's going to make you feel good, that's going to soothe your soul, so to speak. That's really, really important, I believe, for Neptune in the 12th house people. Now, one thing I think is so, so important to do for Neptune in the 12th house people, uh, and that is to do something for somebody else without anything in it for you. To do something for somebody else who needs it. I'm talking about who needs it. It could be personal, it could be a charity, it could be a project, but it's about you being able to be a conduit of love and kindness just for the sake of it, without any form of feedback or any agenda or any money even, just to be able to do that. Now, I'm not talking about doing that for life, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about building a career around it. Unless you've got enough money to do that, of course. But you know what I mean? This is about you being able to do this on a regular basis. But it needs to come from a heart space, and it does need to come from a place where you can do it in a way that, when I say fits into your life, I mean that you can just find areas of life that just kind of flow into your life easily by doing that. Okay. Um, Neptune in the 12th house people, they can live the dream, so to speak. They sometimes can get quite dissatisfied in life, I find. I find that, that feeling of they want the life to be the utopian kind of image that they might have in their minds. Uh, and unfortunately, the earth isn't like that at all. So a lot of the time they do want it to be different, and they can be very dissatisfied. And this can go out into all areas of their life too. They can be kind of dissatisfied with their lot. But I want to say that, through meditation, and through just times of being able to connect with your higher self, there's something about a deeper understanding or a higher understanding of everything happening on the earth plane is all happening for exactly the right reasons. There is something about a spiritual disconnection to life. And I find Neptune can do this really well. Neptune is very compassionate on one level, but it can disconnect very easily on another. Now, the disconnection can happen in two ways, meaning the disconnection can happen in a way where everything gets too much for a person, and so they just cut off totally from everything that's going on. It's kind of like they can numb themselves. And this is a Neptune in the 12th house thing that people have to be careful of, because by numbing yourself, then you numb yourself to everything. You numb yourself to all the good feelings. It's almost like spiritual chemotherapy. Numb yourself to the good feelings as much as the bad feelings. But what I'm talking about here is the spiritual disconnection that I think is positive that Neptune in the 12th house has to offer, is to be able to pull yourself away from life and to see it from how spirit would see it. And people who have had out-of-body experiences or near-death experiences say that they can see everything that's going on, and it feels like it's perfect. It feels like it's exactly what needs to happen. And there's something about Neptune in the 12th house people that kind of need to do that in their own way as well. So again, I want to say with Neptune in the 12th house, if you can relax as much as possible, every time you might be getting into a situation or an area where you're feeling tense, where you're feeling anxious, where you're feeling out of control, all those kind of things. Neptune in the 12th house is a beautiful, beautiful place to come back to. It's a beautiful place to come home to, because it's that place that is constantly saying everything's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're doing fine. You're doing really, really well. It's that beautiful place. It's that gorgeous place that's the supportive, loving, guiding, caring energy of the universe that we actually have inside of us. All of us have it. Every single person on the planet has it. But I want to say that Neptune and the 12th house people have the it's more the the intunement, is that a word? To get a little tiny bit closer to that kind of feeling than than the average person would. So I would say that they're very, very lucky, for want of a better word, to have that place to be able to come home to. But they have to be aware of it. They have to know it, and they have to trust it, because it is there. It is there for them. It is there for them to, it's almost like coming home to this particular place. You've heard the expression, what would Jesus do in this situation? I always think that that's a good one. That's a good one for Neptune in the 12th house. You know, when you're in a situation and you're not knowing, it's like, what would Jesus do now? It's funny, and of course, for us being human, I don't think we'll ever really do it like Jesus would. But at the same time, it's just a good way of being able to help you get back on track with Neptune in the 12th house. And so, if you can see the world, or try to see the world, with compassion and kindness and love and acceptance, and a total integration of everything and everyone, uh, without feeling separate, without feeling separate, and feeling really, really good in your heart, feeling really, really good in your heart by doing that, then I would be saying that you're really doing your Neptune in the 12th house extremely well.